Hello friends, this is Coldrun. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, where we're going to finish up the 9.2 main story quest today. We got... So yeah, we did the Barbaricho trial last time. And yeah. Varshan, what do you got? Return from the Void. How long do you suppose she will remain this way? Until you feed her your ether. I haven't the faintest inkling, nor can I say whether the ether we can afford to share will be enough to awaken her. It would be best to take her back with us to the source. There she would be guaranteed all she requires. That seems... I am all Team Zero, but that... No, I don't think it's a play, but... It seems dangerous. It's basically summoning a void scent, but she is different. It seems dangerous. Zero cannot give her consent, but it seems we have no choice. The alternative would be to leave her here, defenseless. That's kind of true. Should she later desire it, we can bring her home. This feels like it might be a major mistake. I just can't see how. I mean, I can see ways it could be, but I don't know which of those. But I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being like, maybe even not malicious from her part, but maybe like I don't know, like a plot from Golbez or something, where she's like a sleeper. I can't stop thinking about how she knows Golbez, but doesn't remember how she knows him. Kukushu, might I ask you to hold on to Barbaricha's memoria? It may yet serve a purpose. But Golbez isn't like... Golbez is like worried about her. He's not like, yes, it's falling into place. She is back. Like, it's... So, Leering voice and oh, what happened to her? You have business with Zero. I don't think he'll know... Well, he'll know by context who you're talking about, but... Remember, Zero isn't like the name anyone else calls her. We have a newcomer, a former minion of Barbaricha. Let her know when she wakes, will you? Barbaricha's minion. Why not go and find this newcomer? So we have something to tell Zero, if nothing else. Indeed. May I trouble you to join me, Kukushu? With luck, we may learn something of Golbez. There's also something I want to check out where I believe, and again, let me know if I'm mispronouncing this, where I believe it's Hervegonin in the comments, mentioned that around here there's kind of an Easter egg lorry thing with a mind flayer, so I'm going to see if I could find said mind flayer. Oh, squid-headed void scent, I'll bet it's you. If it isn't immortal, you remind me of the time I was summoned to your world by someone who sought beauty. Well, it turned out to be a deviant who had my vessel chained to a bed, and when I tried to break free, he had the gall to call me a hideous fiend. And as if that wasn't bad enough, he started slicing me up. I left that body and fled as quickly as I could. Never again, never again. What the hell is this referring to? It's got to be referring to something specific. Summoned to a world by someone who sought beauty. I mean, there's got to be... The first thing that jumps out at me is Hawkeye Manor. A deviant who had my vessel chained to a bed. Oh, this has got to be a, this has got to be, someone who was murdered for that in Hawkeye Manor. Like, he was summoned to possess a vessel, like, who was probably killed for some ritual. That's not a pleasant way to get to the other world. He started slicing me up. No, never mind. Because the main villain in Hawkeye Manor was female, wasn't she? He started slicing me up. What is this referring to? If the person slicing you up was male, Unless this is Hawkeye matter and I'm just misunderstanding, like maybe the vessel was male and the vessel was made to start slicing itself up, well, for the purposes, for the benefits of the Lady Bathory, the Countess stand-in, maybe. Deserter Voidsent, cute little eyeball. You are the ones who felled Barbaricha. I won't make trouble. I'll obey. So please let me stay. If you would obey, then tell me all you know of Golbez. There isn't much I can tell. Yeah, he seems like almost as well protected as like a mob boss with all those layers between him and the streets. There isn't much I can tell. Only the archfiends are allowed into his domain, wherever it is. None but they know. I see. No better way to guard oneself than keeping one's location secret. How does Golbez communicate with his minions afield? He has these scepters, staves, whatever they are. He uses them to talk to those far away. Oh, those are the things, like the thing that when the fiend stopped talking, like it kind of dropped, and he had that like mini lollipop version of it that he was holding in his hand to talk to the spy. Not unlike link pearls, at least in function. That will be all. My thanks for your cooperation. My thanks to you as well for affording me the time. I am satisfied, so let us rejoin the others and head home. Guess we're done in the 13th for now. I know this was kind of a big deal, but like, boy, it feels like we're treating this casually. Like, we're just able to hop back to the 13th. This is so cool. I trust you understand that once we leave the 13th, we will not return until we are prepared to resume our search. Knowing this, are you ready to depart? No. Let me just take a quick last look around to make sure that there's no other little nuggets I want to see here. Interested in me? Too bad, I'm not interested in you. Oh, Kakushu got wrecked. Oh, that's rough. Look at that face. So friggin' cool. You did it then. You defeated Barbaricha. That explains it. Why Farfarello's fallen silent. He's at peace now, and for both our sakes, I hope he stays that way. That is very sweet. I'm glad I was able to help with that. Oh, you can still see the hair, like, I don't even know what you call it. What's the top deck of that floating island made of hair, whatever that is in the distance. Yeah, we're ready to go now. Back to Troya then, and thence home. What's gonna throw a wrench into our plans, though? Something is. I hope the island's gonna be okay, because they won't have her protection. On the other hand, they don't have her protection right now, either. Ominous music. Is something else going to come through here before we do? Just an open gate to the void. Ah. Okay. Is she going to interact badly with this place?
You're all safe.
The music was stressing me out. You probably want to close that, like, right now.
A moment while I close the gate.
Is it going to resist closing? God, I'm so nervous right now. Okay. Okay.
There. We may rest easy for now. Was there any trouble? I expect some void scent slipped through.
A few did, aye. But we were ready and dealt with them without incident.
That is well. I cannot thank you enough for your vigilance.
Yes, you're grateful. But aren't you forgetting something more important?
Oh, he hasn't shared any news with them. Is that what he's looking for? Is that what they're looking for?
You know, the polite but warm formalities one delights in hearing when their little brother returns from a long journey.
Like, good to see you? Like that sort of thing? Sorry.
It is good to be home again, among those who I love dearly and missed so much.
And we are glad to receive you, Vashan. Welcome home.
This is very sweet.
Chambers have been prepared for your use at Megaduta. Let us take Zero there at once.
Return from the void. We've returned from the void.
Our mission took many an unexpected turn.
Yeah, it did.
I am relieved that we have all returned safely. But before you all enjoy the rest you have earned 12 times over, I would consult you on one last matter.
Zero.
While she appears none the worse for wear, she remains locked in slumber, and I cannot help but worry.
Is she going to be sleeping until 6.3?
Is there aught we can do to expedite her recovery? If her ether is exhausted, perhaps I can share some of mine now.
Yeah, you owe her. You literally owe her.
In the wastelands of the 13th, one can only replenish ether by taking it from others, be it by trade or by force.
So does being in the source mean that she'll just recover naturally? She'll just passively absorb ether?
In contrast, the source is rich in ambient ether. Simply being here and drawing breath, Zero will absorb what she needs.
You still owe her, though. A deal's a deal, especially to the 13th. A denizen of the 13th.
I believe so. She will awaken in time, and when she does, give her something to eat. Judging by her form, she should also be able to derive nourishment from food. I know you promised her your ether, but perhaps she might appreciate fine Harnish cuisine more.
It's pretty good. I mean, it sounds pretty good.
Be arranged.
That, like, not Mango Lassie, that not, you know, the thing that sounds like Mango Lassie but isn't. Like, there's so much, the chai, there's so much good stuff here. Welcome to the Source, Zero.
She looks like any other person. Unsurprising, perhaps, given that she is only part void sent.
And we sort of cleansed the other part or something. I don't quite know what we did with it, but I don't quite know what the crystal exactly did to her.
Said before that Xenos had altered her essence.
So maybe we just altered it back.
A change wrought, I suspect, with the power of darkness. It acted upon the part of her that is void sent, rendering it dominant. Thus, we were able to reverse it with the power of light.
So it's still within her. Like, she can still activate void sent form. Probably.
I labor to believe that Xenos possessed such arcane knowledge. In all likelihood, it came from Fandaniel.
Probably.
Were Zero wholly void sent, I doubt the crystal would have had an effect on her. One might say that Hydaelyn had a hand in your meeting.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, she did. Not intentionally. I don't think she's... I respect Vana, but even so.
Say that Zero has proven herself invaluable. A boon from Hydaelyn herself. Her cooperation may come at a price, but whatever it is, I am willing to pay it. Exhausting though it may be at times.
She's pretty great. She's pretty fantastic. Do I... Oh, please, new Scion. I mean, not immediately, but like... If this... I'm just saying, if the story... If 6.5 ends with her getting, like... Getting this full Scion treatment, I would not be an unhappy Cold Run. I would be potentially a quite happy Cold Run. She seems to be faring better. Okay. A world with light and life. Never one to remain idle, Y'shtola would tend to an errand. If I may excuse myself, I wish to pay a visit to the High Crucible. While the scales functioned admirably, it would be prudent to have them inspected for signs of degradation. By all means, I shall do the same for this vessel. Then I'll go and meet with the soldiers, share with them what I learned fighting Voidsent in the 13th. Everyone's got their roles. And Astinian is like... He's like a trainer at this point. What have you, my friend? Have you any immediate plans? I was going to look for the option that said become BFFs with Zero as soon as she awakens, and so this seems closest to it. I'm just worried about Zero. I'm also right up in Y'shtola's business. In that case, might I trouble you with a small task? I wish to have food ready for Zero when she awakens, you see. Would you be willing to go to Mayreed's Mayhain and ask for suitable refreshments? I did pretty well with that pronunciation that time. It always tripped me up. Excellent. In the meantime, Nidana shall watch over Zero. She is already en route. Let us each then tend to our respective businesses and reconvene anon. I like the shield that you have. Hello, Mayreed. What? A guest of the Satrap has collapsed from hunger. Of course I would be happy to help. You need only tell me what you desire. Most expensive dish just for good measure. Something light and refreshing like fruit, perhaps. A rich and hearty meal with plenty of meat. Or a modest quantity of a living mortal's ether should suffice. If it were just these three, I would go with number 2. I feel like she's ready for... I feel like anything more could overwhelm her. But this is an option, and I just... Raw curiosity makes me want to know how she'll respond. A modest quantity of immortal living... Okay, yeah, we got to do this. I'm afraid we don't serve that particular delicacy. If I may, I would recommend something gentle on the stomach, like these apples here. They've just come in, and I can guarantee their freshness. Okay, yeah. So that was... the light option was the right one. Afterwards, once your guest feels better, she's welcome to sample whatever else we can provide. Just let me know. Okay, so you were terrified, and that's understandable. Or you weren't terrified, you were just, like, weirded out. Too bad, you probably haven't seen Zero. If you did, you would not mind her eating your ether. This is going to be a shock to the system. Culture shock.
Light.
And she was living in a ruin before.
An inn? What happened? How did I get here?
I love her earring, though, like that black crystal. She has sort of pain vibes from X2, from 10-2.
There's no time. I must rejoin the battle. I must...
Oh, because she passed out before she knew the outcome. Yeah.
Oh, you're awake! Wonderful!
This is going to be a little bit of a...
What is this? Some sort of fiend?
Just the opposite.
A fiend? Where is it? Where?
This is a delight.
But this is no time for jokes. You're in the source, my dear. The world next door, so to speak. The others brought you here after you collapsed.
Friggin' love Nidana.
I'll fetch them at once. Wait, just a moment.
I like that Nidana was prepared for that. Like, she knew what was coming. I wonder how close this place is to the world that she lived in her mortal life. What that looked like. Probably sort of similar. Very vaguely similar.
I took the liberty of arranging refreshments. I hope you find them as flavorful as they are invigorating.
Wait. Did Varshan revert to his more childlike form?
This isn't what you promised. I suppose ether is ether.
Because she can still request it. Like, it's not like he's denying her that deal. If she says, like, I'm holding you to the letter of the law, then I think he would acquiesce. I think there's better ways to... Maybe not. That is cool.
Wait. Don't tell me you don't know how to eat?
I took what I needed from it. What's the problem?
It's like trying to get 7 of 9 to have her first non-IV food.
Where's the enjoyment in that? You're supposed to bite, to chew, to savor, and then swallow. That's the way. So, did it taste good?
I'll bet her reaction isn't going to be that overwhelmed. I'll bet it's not like, oh, that was delicious. I'll bet it's more like, this is just, I don't know how to process this.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The long years without eating may have dulled your sense of taste.
Well, we void scent have no need for such when consuming others.
Now that I think about it, the 7 of 9 thing may not be that far off as a comparison, especially because, like 0, 7 of 9 didn't grow up as... She wasn't originally, what she became. She was originally just a regular human, and so there is that part of her buried down there.
There are some who speak of taste when describing the quality and affinity of their prey's ether.
I think that's more metaphorical,
I love
though.
the act. Taking ether in small amounts like this is one thing, but diluting my essence, diminishing myself, I'd sooner die.
Is it diminishing yourself if you're taking essence from No, that's what you're doing is you're saying what you're doing is okay. It's just you wouldn't. Okay, gotcha.
And I have died countless times.
You have? But what happens when you do?
Good question. Has she ever been devoured by someone else?
Not much. After a while, you return, together with all your expended life force.
Are you conscious when you're dead?
The important thing is to die where others won't devour you.
Amazing! My peers who study immortality and resurrection would be most interested in this phenomenon.
The question of taste aside, I am glad that you are able to partake of food like us. I dare say it agrees with your personal preferences.
That's true. You can keep giving me the same on a regular basis.
Very well. As my guest, I shall see that you do not want for comfort. And
I love
one
everything
other
about
thing.
this.
We brought you to our world without your consent, and for that, I apologize. If you wish it, we will return you to yours once you have regained your strength.
Varshan, I love you. You're fantastic. I also would be... I'd be a little bit surprised if she wants to return. She is... Though it's a world of, like, void scent eat void scent, and she's not someone who enjoys partaking in the eating of other void scent.
It's fine. I have no reason to go back. Except for yours, perhaps. You intend to cross over again, I take it.
Yeah, no doubt.
I do. I have yet to find my sister. I want nothing more than to rush to her aid, to find this Golbez and free her from his clutches, if he still holds her captive.
And it's reasonable to assume he does.
Our recent experience has taught us anything, 'tis that the 13th is more dangerous than we ever imagined. Caution must be our watchword.
Better late than never. In the short time you spent in our world, you left a trail of chaos in your wake. You managed to return in one piece this time. But don't assume you'll be so lucky the next.
It's a fair warning.
Rest assured, we will make no assumptions and spare no preparation. Speaking of which, while we rest and ready ourselves, I ask that you tell me more about your home.
You're gonna trade some apples as payment to this Shinigami.
In return, I will tell you about ours. I will show you my domain, Radz-at-Han.
Another thing I love about Varshan, he's adapting to her very quickly. He's being very considerate of her, even to the point that he's presenting this exchange of information as, like, payment. As an offer of payment.
Again, a stranger in this strange land. I have a condition. You must come too.
You have my thanks.
Look at that jaunty little hat, and Operation Become BFFs with Zero is underway and going well. Varshan, does my... Okay. So I'm going to show her the city. Or join on the tour, at least. This world is brimming with ether. I feel invigorated just standing here in the breeze. Glad am I to hear that. So is there any place in particular you wish to see? Perhaps where that food came from. Apple, was it? While I don't expect I'll collapse again, it would be good to know where I can procure more if necessary. Mayreed's Mayhain it is then. I shall introduce you to the head waitress, Melil. Okay. What a trio we are. While bound to Xenos, I never saw vibrant cities like this, only ruined places, not so different from the Void. Yeah, the Xenos would have been a poor tour guide. You recall the time we traveled together to the outpost. Should our tour take us outside the city, we must make use of Hamsa again. Or hippos. I have been working slowly on the Arkasodra tribe quests. We're outside the Mayhain. This is the place. The air is different here, and I speak not of the heat. There's a texture to it, a fullness, unlike that of elsewhere. You smell the cooking, I believe. Hanish cuisine is quite fragrant and delicious, I hope you will agree. I thought she was talking more of a metaphorical sense. Not a metaphorical sense, more of like a non-tangible sense, like it has a feel of a place that's like alive with conversation and joy and that sort of thing, but now that she probably was just talking about the smell of food. You could attempt to introduce Zero to Mayreed herself, but Melil is more likely to be available. Let's do it. Hello, Melil. Welcome to Mayreed's Mayhain. Greetings, Melil, and may I introduce you to Zero. She is an esteemed guest, and I ask you to see to her meals during her stay. Ah, yes, Mayreed has told me all. Please come to us whenever you are hungry. We will look after you. It was here that Kukushu obtained the apple. While the palace cooks can prepare whatever you desire, it is certainly a quick and convenient food. Probably gives you 3% XP bonus and nothing else. I'll remember it. Who are the ones there moving their bodies about? Is it for some ritual related to eating? It is not. My inner 12-year-old thought she was just imagined, like, was she talking about someone, like, writhing as they poop? But no, because that is a ritual of moving your body about related to eating. I guess you don't move your body about unless it's really explosive. The dancers, they move their bodies to bring pleasure to those who are watching. It's a form of entertainment, part of our culture. How needlessly complicated. We Voidsent prefer simpler pleasures. That may be the way of it, but your world too must have had such complicated diversions once. I imagine so. I don't remember. I'll bet they did, though. I'm sure they did. Well, let us move on. I propose we visit Balshan Bazaar, where goods the world over may be found. All right. Barshan, do you recall the time we traveled together to the outpost? Oh, yeah. Zero, what are all these things for? What do you do here? This is a marketplace where people buy and sell goods. Since its earliest days, Radz-at-Han has served as a trading hub, and here you'll find not only local products, but wares from distant lands. I should mention that the vendors generally only accept payment in coin or tomestones. If there's aught you desire, I shall take care of it. So that's what tomestones are for. Voidsent returned with them on occasion, but I never knew their purpose. Voidsent came back with tomestones. That's the second time we've seen that, isn't it? We've also seen the tomestones just in the Crystarium. I like when they show just mechanics like that, just in as physical objects. They struck me as useless trinkets, and I couldn't understand your obsession with them. On that subject, there appeared to be no shops in the 13th. Do you never make bargains in which possessions are exchanged? We do, but rarely. We strike bargains when we want something done. If we desire an object, we kill whoever has it. Please don't do that here. I see. Your bargains may be likened to employment, I believe. I shall bear this in mind. With that, let us continue on. I propose we head to the High Crucible of Alchemia. Isu. Why, Master Vritra, how may we serve you this evening? If you're here for your vessel, I'm afraid we're still tending to it. Ah, yeah, so that was just a temporary thing. No, no, there is no rush. Pray take as much time as you require. Know that I have complete faith in your work. The High Crucible is home to the finest alchemists. They are the ones who created my bodies and can provide you with healing as well. Now that I think on it, you weren't at all surprised when I changed forms. Were you aware of my nature from the start, that I was a soul not occupying a vessel not my own? It could be. I'm expecting her to say... I mean, it could be that. I would have thought it was more about her being used to a world where people take on different forms more, maybe? Yep. It's hardly uncommon in our world. When given the chance, many shed their bodies to claim stronger ones. Oh, you must be the rumored guest. We've been most eager to meet you. If you have a moment, would you care to stay for some tea? The sisters know we'd love to hear your tales. No, I've had enough food for now, and we can always obtain more without the need for inane chatter. That's fair. You know what? She's blunt, she's upfront, she's doing her best in a totally new world. Now, no need to decline outright. I dare say you are tired, so let us save it for another time and return to Megaduta. If aught catches your eye en route, do not hesitate to stay so. Some sort of fruit. Pitiful things, though. I imagine you'd need to eat a lot to derive any satisfaction. That is not the case. These are mulberry trees. While the fruit is indeed edible, more important are the leaves, which we feed to silkworms. Without the creatures, we wouldn't have the silk to make our famous Thavnarian weave. Furthermore, the bark of the tree also possesses medicinal properties. You would be hard-pressed to find a more useful plant. Is that so? Aside from food, I wouldn't have considered any other purpose for it. I mean, I imagine for you, food is such a primary concern that that's probably one of the main things you're looking out for, like, regularly. Master Vritra and Gakushu, too! Don't kill them, or don't scare them. If it isn't young Meyrad, and this must be your sister Yasra, is all well at the orphanage? Yes, Your Excellency. The other children are very nice, and we all look out for one another. Oh yes, just the other day, Estinian came to see us. Everyone is really excited. I would love to see a scene of Estinian being grumpy as kids, like, gravitate towards him and climb all over him. Truly, Estinian paid you a visit. That as well. Is she a new friend? Yes. Friend. You know what that is? What? You mean you don't? She is a visitor from a faraway land, you see, and is still unfamiliar with our language. Then we'll teach you. A friend is someone you like to play with. Play with. Oh god, I'm imagining her, like, is she going to interpret this as, like, playing with your food, like torturing them before you devour their ether? Zeno seemed to be enjoying himself when he fought you. Is that the same thing? Sort of? I'm gonna say no. Oh god, I don't know. You know what? More or less. Sure, let's go with that. If that's your entry point, we'll start with that. Yeah. Just like that. I see, but is having someone to play with so fulfilling? I still do not understand why. Try it. I mean, no, don't try it. That's a different kind of... Yeah, don't try that, actually. You will kill many people. Why he traversed the great expanse. Why he risked life and limb. For you. A complicated question. But I waste energy dwelling on such things. I am not Xenos. I stand to gain nothing by knowing his heart. I agree, especially for someone who was basically an abuser. Like, I don't know if he knew that what he was doing. I don't know if he knew that he was... I think he might have assumed that he was Boy, this might be giving Xenos more credit than he deserves, but I might give him the benefit of the doubt in this case and assume he thought he was making a pact on equal terms when it was clearly not the case. I'm sorry I couldn't explain it well. There's no need to apologize. The fault is not yours, but mine for failing to make sense of your words. Pretty generous. Well, we'd better get back to our errand. Goodbye, it was nice meeting you. Folding your arms at the kids waving. You and Estinian. Okay. This is so I'm happy we get to see this. I'm happy we get to see her tour. This is like watching like a reaction video, but Zero's the reactor. Xenos, I thought I understood the ways of your world. No, you did not. Boy, no. Yeah, Xenos is not a great example of how humanity normally acts and that what they value and how they believe and how they relate to other people. But the more I learn of it, the more I realize how little I actually know. It's all so strange. Your behavior and your reasons. I find myself baffled at every turn. Put you in a room with Omega. But the feeling is not unwelcome. I'm learning bit by bit. It was the right decision to join you. Darkness that warped all life in the void, even plants. Only now do I recall flowers and the value they held. Were they like a poison? Buried memory. Is that the name of this? I think that's the name of the patch. Scallop curry. Premium scallop simmer with a rich blend of spices to create the savory dish. Actually, it sounds a little bit... I don't know what I think of that. It sounds like it's got to be great, but it seems like an unusual combination. Pumpkin ratatouille. That sounds great. Simmered to... What is that? Perilla oil. Is that a real oil or is that just a fantasy oil? Gentle smile plays on Varshan's lips. I believe Zero's time here has been rewarding, and 'twas in no small part due to your company. My thanks for agreeing to join us. Come, let us return to Megaduta.
So, what are your impressions of Radz-at-Han?
There's a lot of mortals.
That's true.
Considering your origin, I can see why that might be your first observation. Though they would call each other people, I think. If you wish to know about our fair city, I should be glad to place a guide at your disposal.
No need. I'll show myself around. There's only so much about my home I can share with you in return, after all.
Yeah, the law of equivalent exchange.
While I remember some few tales of the past, I cannot speak to their authenticity.
Tales are, in some cases, as important as the true history.
But if that is enough, then I will tell you of the events that saw darkness engulf our world. The Contra Memoria.
I would like to hear that. Yes.
We are all ears. Please.
Buried
Long
memory.
ago, light filled the world and all was at peace.
I assume light filled the world was not like the first. It was a regular, normal, bright world.
But then the servants of darkness came, and they bequeathed a black art unto men. Channeling the power of hope and prayer, one could call forth fearsome beings known as Eidolons.
Yeah, so this is what we heard about, where this was the Asians' first experiment, where I'm surprised they did it the same way they did for our world, just worse. I mean, just more unbalanced. And this explains why there was an... I mean, we already knew this, but this was a world that didn't have an Elidibus. This is a world that didn't have an emissary to balance light and dark, that didn't value it. This is the Ascians, just let's summon it, let's rejoin ASAP, and...
The Ascians. And these Eidolons are surely primals.
Yeah.
Then you have faced the same, and understand that when an Eidolon is birthed, strife follows. And in such strife, the weak are the first to suffer.
Yes.
When it seemed the world would be plunged into chaos, heroes appeared. They who were blessed with a singular power.
The Echo?
Power to bind the ether of Eidolons within crystals known as Memoria.
This was like a version of the Echo more suited to their world. I don't know if it came from Hydaelyn, though.
My mother was one such Memoriate. But in fighting to save many, she herself was touched by darkness.
Oh, sorry.
And so you were born part Voidsent, before the world was overcome.
How exactly did that calamity come to pass? Did the Memoriates not triumph?
They did. They expunged the seeds of chaos and restored the peace, only to find themselves seduced by the darkness they had sealed.
So they started doing summonings themselves for the power of it? How did they get seduced when they were past the finish line?
They spread the taint, transforming men into monsters, what you call Voidsent, and raised armies to wage new wars.
Now look at that. Is that... I wonder if that person we're seeing there, or if any of these people became Golbez. They might just be... These might just be random people, but they've gone back to that particular... the guy just above... the guy holding the Memoria crystal aloft. They've shown him twice now, so I wonder. Could just be narrative cohesion.
By power, nor the last.
Some defied temptation and held fast to the light. My mother and I among them. For years and years we fought, but it was not enough. And when our strength was spent, our bulwarks broken, so too was the world.
So was Golbez just like... That's my guess right now. My best guess is that Golbez was one of those heroes who was corrupted and just like ended up surviving as the strongest in his group or his gang or his army. And that's my guess, and that would be how you knew him. You knew him from the before
flood
time.
Of darkness.
The stars faded from the heavens as a pall black as pitch enveloped creation. Darkness raged unchecked, rending the very walls of reality. I was cast into the rift, and there trapped for what felt like an eternity. Until I came upon a crack. Tiny, infinitesimal, but enough for me to squeeze through. And find my world changed beyond recognition, into the lightless waste you saw.
So that is how you were able to escape becoming a Voidsent in full.
I suppose I should consider myself fortunate. Were I like most others, I wouldn't have lasted a day before being devoured.
Did you get stronger in the rift? Somehow?
We, the lost, are better equipped to survive in a lost world.
A lost world, you say?
Are you going to push back and say that not all is lost yet?
I wouldn't be so sure. The 13th is still there, is it not?
It's true.
What are you getting at?
Wait, are you trying... Hold on. Are you going to try to reverse, like, do what you did for her to everyone? Like, to reverse the... No, but we already said... I was going to think, are you trying to reverse the darkness? But no, that can't be, because... Maybe it could be, but not by the crystal, because the crystal, that last burst of Hydaelyn, like, it... We even said that it wouldn't do that to a full-fledged Void Scent, and there aren't many like her. So what are you getting at?
To explain requires that we initiate you into the truth of the source and its reflections. Be warned that this will take a while.
Like an unjoining, are you thinking about? I don't know what she's getting at. I'm sure it's super obvious to most people, but it's just there's a few possibilities. I'm not familiar enough with the mechanics of all the, all the source and shard stuff to say for sure, and the soul stuff, and the untempering. Like, it might be something related to that, but I don't know them. I'm not fluent in those mechanics well enough to guess to guess with any specificity.
Then, unlike the worlds that have been rejoined, mine still...
That's right. I was thinking that it had been rejoined. That when it... Well, like, no, I guess not. Because it was made... So they said the 13th was made a lifeless void. But a useless void was the term they said. But maybe they were overstating. Maybe the Ascians were overstating that. Maybe Emmett Selk was overstating that. It doesn't necessarily... I mean, it's not... They messed up with trying to rejoin it. I just assumed that it was like they tried to rejoin it, and they did, but it didn't do that much good. It just destroyed the world without getting much in turn. But I guess if you went to one of the worlds that actually was rejoined fully, maybe it just wouldn't be there at all. It's not that it would be there and depleted of ether. It would just be gone altogether. I guess that's the case.
The Oracle of Light prevented the first from being completely overcome. So the situation may not be completely identical to that of your 13th.
I'm very curious if we continue with this 13th plotline, whether Gaia's going to come into it as the Oracle of Darkness, and whether Unakalhai is going to come into it in some other fashion.
But the fact remains that we were able to restore a measure of balance to a world brought to the brink of destruction.
Is Unakalhai a scion?
After which, some intrepid young souls succeeded in restoring life back to lands thought lost to light. Which gives me cause to hope the day may yet come when life springs forth anew in the 13th. Of course, these are only possibilities. I offer no guarantees.
Yeah, it's not. There's no quick. It's not like she's just going to make more Angelos and that's going to solve everything. These are just very general possibilities she's introducing.
But having experienced what we have, I dare say we are more qualified than most to speak on the matter.
Look at Zero. Her mouth is open. She's like in shock almost.
Wait, I don't understand. Why would you say these things? As if you mean to... But the sole reason you came to the Void was...
To find a dragon, aye. And in light of what we've seen, we'd be fools to strive for more.
Are you going to say, but we are fools? Something like that?
But we scions, former scions, begging your pardon, have a habit of not leaving well enough alone.
Yep.
And old habits die hard, don't they, my friend?
Restoring the light would serve our efforts to find and free Azdaja. There is no reason not to try.
Even for purely selfish reasons, he's right. And there's going to be, I mean, these are people who care about life in general, so that's not, those selfish reasons aren't going to be the only things that exist. But even just for the reason of finding Azdaja, this would help.
Do as you will. I have no desire to save that world.
You looked...
Be that as it may, we will have need of your power when next we face Void Scent.
I don't know if she meant that or not. She might have meant it, but the look of eagerness on her face beforehand may tell a different story.
You know how it works. If you want my help, you must pay my price.
All the apples you could want.
And now that you've drawn Golbez's attention, it's going to cost you more. A lot more. I will consider this a deposit.
I'm like giddy. I'm like weirdly giddy about this. I don't know why, but seeing her enjoy apples is making me very, very happy. Like, she deserves a good little, like, a slice of life, and she deserves to be in a slice of life anime when she's been in a horror anime for so long. Are we gonna get a meanwhile? Are we gonna see more of what's his face? More of Golbez? I feel like I should be burned at the stake for calling Golbez what's his face even briefly, but I just forgot. Though our time in the void was short, we managed to ascertain that my sister yet lives, and it cannot be overstated how fortunate we are to have met Zero. It cannot. She's great. But the greater blessing is nevertheless you, my friend. I am quite something. For your encouragement to embark upon my search anew, and your help in overcoming the challenges thus far. What's that little slime thing? Is that a void scent? On its way out? No, void scent weren't from there. What is that? Did you see that? That was like a little eyeball. It was like a little mini version of that eyeball monster of the, what are they called? The amoebas, or like whatever those types of monsters are. It was like a little one thing, and the guard ran after it. It wasn't... I don't know what that was. Golbez and his minions will seek to stymie our efforts. Of this we can be sure. But with you all at my side, I have confidence that we will succeed. That we will find and liberate my sister, and that we shall return home together. We're gonna go for... I gotta try scallop curry. Meanwhile, elsewhere. Yep, here we go. Okay. Yeah, the second fiend down. We haven't seen his reaction to that yet. Still got his spy bat phone ready to go.
First Scarmiglione, and now Barbaricia. Useless, the both of them.
A little bit mean.
No lie. They conspire with a memorial.
Yeah, this is
And
proof.
their search for the dragon will lead them here.
And it seems like he wants that by the way he's saying that.
The war looms nigh.
No, I guess not. He doesn't want that.
Cannot allow these interlopers to interfere.
So it's not a war on the source. It's some kind of internal war? Who are you making war on? It seems like it's just isolated pockets of, like, you know, places like Troya. Like, the war looms nigh. What?
If I may, my lord, I have a plan to eliminate them.
Listen to Rubicante's Golbez. He's the smart one. He's the best of them.
In order to guarantee success, however, I will require Cagnazzo's cooperation.
Cagnazzos. Yeah, so they're going with the Italian pronunciation, so apologize for calling it Canazzo earlier.
Yeah, there's sport to be had, then I'll play along. As much as I dislike following your lead, I have no patience for screaming.
Yeah, he's... Cagnazzo wasn't just like a brute in 4. He was patient. He was, I mean, he took on the role of, he usurped the role of king and was playing that role in secret, but he was still not nearly as crafty. He was more of a, more short-sighted than, less dangerous than Rubicante.
Well and good to have confidence, but do not forget the cost of failure.
Yeah, death, right?
I will see the dream to fruition. Even should I be consumed by my own flames, I will pave the way for one and all.
What's your dream? He certainly believes in the cause.
Trust in your oath and your plan.
This isn't just a bid for power. This is like they have a purpose that Rubicante is willing to sacrifice him for. It's not just Golbez getting control of another city, another void city.
We will give you cause to rejoice, my lord. This I vow. Ha ha! Some excitement for a church.
No sacrifice is too great. Even should my 4 archfiends be lost, I will not halt my steps. The prison of passivity is an obstacle to my cause, and so you must fall.
The prison of passivity is an obstacle to my cause, and so you must fall. Is he... This has got to be one of those sentences that people on that the lore folks among the 14 community have been chewing over for a while now, unless it's super obvious to them, but it's not obvious to me what this means. The prison of passivity is an obstacle to my cause, and so you must fall. So I'll try to think out loud a little bit. He could be talking about an actual prison, but like a prison caused by... No, I don't think that. I think he's talking about it metaphorically, like some people being passive, maybe like accepting the way things are, is an obstacle to whatever he's trying to do. He wants to enact some kind of change. And so you must fall. And so there's someone he wants to go to war against. I'm guessing it's some version of Cecil. I mean, I could even see just broad strokes them doing like Cecil as a Dark Knight, and then like if we're able to turn things to light, he becomes a paladin. Like there's all kinds of ways they can go with this. If we can like, you know, refresh the 13th as Y'shtola was talking about, like maybe then he becomes a paladin, but like that's my guess right now, is that the person he's attacking in this picture is some version of Cecil, but I just don't know.
What irony that the blessed damned should set us free.
The blessed damned... No clue. No clue at all. The blessed damned. I got nothing.
As I swore so long ago. The gate lies open. At long last, my ambition shall be fulfilled.
So his goal is relating to the gate specifically. Does he want to bring his people over to the source? make some huge ushering of... Does he have only one eye? Is he a Cyclops? I just assumed that was like a light bulb, or that was like, I don't know, like one of those even realms long lost to dark may find in memories rebirth spark. In memory rebirth spark. I thought that might be like a Garlean gem, like a gem or something, or like a Garlean style third eye, but he might actually be a Cyclops. That might be his eye shining through. I don't know. The first has been added to the Unending Codex. Okay. Anything else you have to say? Just wait for a 6.3. Our next foray promises to... Yeah. He's given a little teaser. Promises to be filled with even more danger. Pray leave Zero in my care for now and focus on recovering your strength. Yeah, so nothing super wild that I found or new I found in that Codex entry on the light on the first. What is that? Look at this guy's thing. What's this fiery halo he's got from? That is awesome. That's so cool. Anyway, so that's going to be it for me for today, for the 6.2 main story quest. Oh, did I get a title? Voidbound. Voidbound. That is a pretty badass title, which I'm not going to take on right now. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the plain title list for the moment. Yeah, so that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe if you want to see more. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your theories are about just what that Golbez thing was. I have ideas, but I don't... I mean, just the idea... No, nothing secret. Just the ideas I've shared, but I don't... Nothing that really seems super likely compared to the others. It could go in so many directions. But next time, I think I'm going to do the raid content, the new Pandemonium content that came out with 6.2. So yeah, so I'll see you all then. Bye-bye.